Avengers, assemble. Welcome back to Sanders Presents. I'm Greg, and if you're enjoying the content we're producing, please consider following that link in the description below to become an Avenger today by assembling on our Patreon. We have two tiers available, a $3 tier and a $5 tier. At that $5 tier, you become an Avenger Premium member, and as a founding Avenger, your name is added to our Avenger Memorial Hall of Fame credits that appear in every video. And I want to thank every member of our Avenger Premium tier for their support, and I want to thank all of my Avengers for their continued support of this channel. Again, it is your support that makes this content possible, so thank you so much. So, hero events versus operations versus expansions in Marvel's Avengers. This has been an ongoing debate since Spider-Man was announced as being a hero event, and we've had operations in the past. So Kate Bishop was an operation. Clint Barton's Hawkeye was an operation. Black Panther's War for Wakanda, that was an expansion. Spider-Man was a hero event. Now, looking into the future, there is a question of what comes next in terms of the spread and release schedule for these heroes. Is it possible that a hero event means we could get heroes more quickly? And I think that's a fair and reasonable assumption that it could come a little faster. Now, again, I'm not saying we could suddenly get 8 heroes in 1 year. I want to keep expectations reasonable, and I want to keep a level head about all of this. That's my biggest goal. We got to have clear, concise, transparent discussions, not driven by clickbait, not fueled by being confrontational or rude or aggressive, but let's keep a level head about this. So if we look at 2020, we got the launch roster, and then we got one additional hero in 2020, and that was Kate Bishop. Then if we look at 2021, we got Clint Barton Hawkeye and Black Panther for everyone. Everyone got 2 heroes in 2021 is what I mean to say. PlayStation users got Spider-Man. Technically, 3 heroes in total were released, but only everybody got 2. One was an operation, Clint Barton. One was a full expansion, Black Panther. And Sony got the hero event. Looking ahead, you've seen our predictions. You've seen our roadmap predictions. And again, you know that our roadmap predictions are based on our own data mining, and this is us trying to come to logical conclusions, right? So we know that She-Hulk, Winter Soldier, and Captain Marvel are the most likely heroes to be released, fairly even in that schedule, even in that release schedule, if you will, for 2022. Those are the 3 most likely. Captain Marvel, obviously, we're probably looking at another expansion, especially because we know that there are Kree in the game file. So we have the Kree, and so we can look at that. And what does it mean when we look at that? That's an expansion. That makes the most sense that Captain Marvel gets the big expansion and the big storyline, right? Just like War for Wakanda. Captain Marvel gets that big storyline of her return to Earth, if you will. She-Hulk and Winter Soldier are different. They could be operations. They could be hero events, though. And again, a hero event, it doesn't necessarily mean that it doesn't have to come with a villain. Obviously, Spider-Man's didn't come with a villain, but we don't know everything that went on behind the scenes between Sony and Crystal Dynamics and Marvel and Square Enix, because Sony doesn't own the game license of Spider-Man outright. Sony can't do anything with Spider-Man without approval from Disney in terms of gaming. Sony just can't go off and do things with Spider-Man and other games. So we don't know all the business around the contracts and the licensing and in terms of the hero event, what Sony was allowed to use, what Sony wasn't allowed to use. But we just don't know. So a hero event is still kind of an unknown in terms of an overall release. We've not seen a hero event on the Xbox and PC, so we don't know what it could entail. We saw a limited hero event that was really just to add the playable hero Spider-Man. So that's still up for debate. A hero event could add villains. It technically could, or it could add a villain. It technically could, because we don't have the full parameters of a hero event. We've only seen one that wasn't exclusive. We can't completely judge that. We know operations. We know that operations come with villains. We know the kind of level expectation we have with an operation. We know that expansions are bigger than operations, will come with more and will do more, and usually will coincide with the release of a raid event. And again, this is based off looking at 2021. So could we see a mix? And do you want a mix is also that kind of question there. She-Hulk, Operation Hero Event. Winter Soldier, Operation Hero Event. War Machine, Operation Hero Event. And then further down the line, the other heroes that we've data mined. Marvel. Tell me that Marvel doesn't make sense for a hero event. If Captain Marvel gets the expansion and then a very quick hero event to introduce Marvel, I mean, tell me that doesn't make sense. It's easy because Marvel doesn't need his own thing. Marvel is intrinsically tied to the Korean Captain Marvel, which we're already getting in a big expansion. But so imagine that our roadmap, based completely on data mining, is as close to the real roadmap as we're going to get, right? And so imagine if as an extra gift or whatever, we get a Marvel hero event. All it does is add Marvel into the same storyline that we've already got in the expansion. It just adds Marvel maybe a month or 2 months later because Marvel doesn't need his own because he's so tied into that expansion story. There's no reason for him to have an operation, in my opinion. Now, because again, I want to be clear, this is all driven by my opinion. Your perspective could be completely different. You could look at this and go, this hero could be an operation, this hero deserves expansions, this hero deserves hero events, and some of it's bias, right? I'm sure some of it will be bias. If you have a favorite character, if your favorite character is Doctor Strange, you probably feel, and again, correct me if I'm wrong, but you probably feel that, oh, Doctor Strange needs an expansion. Again, we have our biases. I have mine. You know what I'm saying? Vision, Scarlet Witch. In my mind, no, they've got to be an expansion, right? That's a bias. If they're an operation, I'm cool with it. But we have our biases because we have our favorites. And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. But I am wondering, because again, if you go through our videos, if you look at our Avenger data mining playlist, you know what we've covered. You know who we have found in the game. So if you look at that, and if you look at that roster, if you look at those heroes, if you look at those villains, how do they tie in together? And, villains coming with the heroes, whether it's operations, expansions, what have you. But when you look at it, what do you see? What is the conclusion that you yourself reach? And can Marvel's Avengers comfortably survive with a mix of all three? What is your answer? What is your definitive answer at that? For me, my answer is an affirmative yes. I think Marvel's Avengers could easily approach the release of heroes with a combination of all three of those tactics to get the most heroes out in terms of a 12-month period, in terms of a year period from 2022 to 2023 or 2023 to 2024. Take the most advantage of a mix of those systems to get as much out as you can, because not every hero needs something major. Again, Quake, she could just be a hero event. Mockingbird, she could just be a hero event, and we could get more heroes out in a 12-month period. Maybe it's just one or two other heroes. Maybe we go from 2 heroes a year if you're on a console that isn't PlayStation. Maybe we go to 4 heroes a year. And again, even if you include Spider-Man, maybe we just go to 4 heroes a year. But still, that's a good change of pace, and it's almost quarterly. If you'll allow me to if you'll allow that, so to speak. So I've laid it all out, hopefully to the best of my abilities. A little bit of rambling thrown in, I'm sure, because I can't help but ramble. But now it's your turn. Now it's your turn to lay it out in terms of looking at the perspective, 3 different ways to release heroes. What's the best avenue for it? And do you have preferences for some of these heroes when you look at our data mining? Do you look at a hero and go, well, they need to be this versus this? Let me know in the comments below. Because remember, the developers are watching. This is a community-driven game. We are going to shape the future of this game. We may not be developers on it, but we're consumers. We're paying consumers. We're going to shape the direction of this game. So make sure we're shaping in a direction that we want it to go in. Now, as I said to my Avengers, thank you so much for your support and for making this content possible. And if you're able, please consider becoming an Avenger today and assembling with us on our Patreon. Thank you so much. And thank you for being a part of this conversation. Please like the video if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel if you're new, and share our content across social media. It helps immensely with YouTube's analytics and algorithms. I very much so do appreciate it. Above all else, and most importantly, stay safe, take care of others, and have a marvelous day. Bye, everyone.